The Nature Valley Grand Prix is the premier bicycle stage race in the Midwest. On the men's side, the powerhouse Health Net Maxxis team is defending its title with its Aussie aces Nathan O'Neill and Rory Sutherland. Their rivals include the red-hot Toyota United squad led by Serbian Ivan Stevic. On the women's side, the overwhelming favorite remains defending champion Kristen Armstrong, but she's got the best field ever nipping at her heels. Welcome to St. Paul, Minnesota, and stage one of the Nature Valley Grand Prix. I'm Dave Towle, being joined by Bob Roll. Good afternoon, Bob.
Great to be here. There's Kristen Armstrong coming up to the start line, the reigning world time trial champion, one of the best bike racers in the world.
As the call-ups are going on, you can see Mara Abbott of the Webcor Builders team. She's a revelation out of the 2006 season, also our current series leader.
Up-and-coming superstar Mara Abbott from Boulder, Colorado. And there's Laura Van Gilder from the Cheerwine squad, a criterium specialist, and she will love this event here in downtown St. Paul. Beautiful weather for the women's field.
Yeah, beautiful weather right here at the start and finish line. It sounds like some storms are brewing up north and just a little bit south of St. Paul as well, but it looks like as our women's field rolls out here, beautiful, beautiful racing conditions.
There's a budding photographer there. He's going to get the field coming through these very technical corners. And here is Alex Rubelski on the attack. She's followed by Kristen Armstrong, and a little bit of a breakaway now being established. We don't often see that in a criterium, but here we have it in the women's race.
Yeah, you see Armstrong looking around, assessing the situation right now with 8 riders coming together in this group. I think that she's going to take her chances out of this group as they're starting to find their rhythm here, Bob.
Well, when she takes a look over her shoulder and doesn't see any of the Webcor riders, she will put the hammer down and try to get the advantage here established for this little breakaway. And if they don't chase pretty soon, this group could be gone.
Yeah, the chase starting to become organized right now as Webcor is sending some of their strong riders up to the front. That is Rachel Heel there driving the pace right now, but they're letting this gap grow, Bob. The reports we're getting have it at 15 seconds right now, so Armstrong continues to drill it at the front. She's getting some help from Rubleski, and it looks like that is Catherine Cheatley of the Cheerwine team.
Catherine Cheatley on the back of this group. She does have a teammate in this breakaway, but it's Armstrong doing all the work here, and there's a crash now.
Oh, a little touch of the wheels. Rubleski going down. We are inside 5 laps to go, so she's going to need to get right back on that big gear here. Rubleski will bring it back up to speed, a look over her shoulder, so the gap, it doesn't look like the field is closing down on Alex right now, so she's going to hit out here and see if she can rejoin that group.
Inside the last 5 laps, no free lap. You would get a free lap if it was that part of the race, but it's not. Here's the field chasing. Rubleski going down there, just touching the wheels. You can see her bar tape coming off, but what a courageous ride by the young Canadian.
And Rubleski clearly does not want to go back to that group. You can see the orange series leader of Mara Abbott as she's tucked safely in the back of that group. The breakaway, though, it looks like they are going to be joined by Alex Rubleski here. A phenomenal effort from the young Canadian.
Fantastic chance to rejoin here for the Canadian, getting back in that group that she just crashed out of. So that's a great effort. And here's the field trying to limit the advantage. It's about 30 seconds with just a couple of laps to go to our leaders.
Well, here we are, stage 1 of the Nature Valley Grand Prix, and Rubleski is down again. It looks like they have ignited the sprint up at the front. That looks like Cheatley there hitting very, very hard. Cheatley has gone clear, Bob.
Cheatley, a little bit of an attack there just as Rubleski crashed. Now you can see her just disappearing around the corner there. Kristen Armstrong, we wanted to chase that. We don't see any of the Webcor riders. They'll be chasing in the field, trying to keep this gap honest, but look at Cheatley up the front there. She can see the finish line, and she is going to win this stage. This is a great ride by the Cheerwine rider.
Yeah, phenomenal timing from Catherine Cheatley there. It looks like she's done just enough. A look over the shoulder, and she'll see if they're closing down on her. Teresa Moriarty of the Flanders team was one of the riders, actually a local hero in our field, but around the final bend, and Catherine Cheatley will post it and become our new leader here at the Nature Valley Grand Prix. The win is Cheatley's.
Cheatley going across the line there. That is a great ride. She anticipated the sprint. She had a teammate covering from behind and the field trailing in a little bit, but Kristen Armstrong getting advantage on her rival, Mara Abbott.
So Catherine Cheatley is our new leader. Shelley Olds in second. Teresa Moriarty rounding out our top 3.
There's a lot more days coming ahead with a lot of climbing and the time trials, so we weren't sort of sure how teams were going to ride it.
So good to hear a little bit from our current race leader, Catherine Cheatley. Shelley Olds slotting in at second, and Teresa Moriarty, the local favorite, in third right now, Bob.
This is a good podium there. There's your first 3 from the criterium. That might change quite a bit as the GC picture plays out, but for the moment, it's the Kiwi on Cheerwine, Catherine Cheatley, your race leader.
Get Cheatley on the top step of the podium there, being flanked by Shelley Olds, a phenomenal talent coming out of California, and the local favorite, Teresa Moriarty, a fifth-grade teacher in the Minneapolis area. So some of our riders enjoying the expo as we get ready for stage 2 of the Nature Valley Grand Prix.
Cannon Falls Road Race, stage number 2. There's your race leader, Catherine Cheatley, after a great performance in the criterium, soloing away from the breakaway. She has a pretty handy little lead, 5 seconds on GC. She's going to have a tall order, however, defending that leader's jersey throughout this stage race. A lot of time trials and big hills to come. We got a chance to talk with Kristen Armstrong.
I need to stay just protected from my team out there today and really conserve energy is the game plan we have. And it can be a really windy day, and so we want to make sure if there is a split that happens that we're in it. But the number one goal is to have fresh legs for the time trial tomorrow.
And we take a look at the front of the bike race here. Katie McTeer has been a rider that's been animating things. You can see her in her Australian National Champions jersey racing for the Value Act team. Well, Bob, as you mentioned, not as selective here. This is one part of the course, though, that remains selective, the dirt road section that leads them back into Cannon Falls.
Dirt road section there, and Armstrong on the front putting the hammer down. She is in the King of the Mountains jersey, Queen of the Mountains, excuse me, and on her wheel a bunch of Cheerwine riders trying to defend that lead of Catherine Cheatley. So very tactical at the moment. This is a dirt road section, a little bit less aerodynamic drag, so as hard as the front rider is going, the riders following have to do the same. There's Cheatley now, and she is in the pack safely, maybe looking to extend her lead a bit on this stage. A flat affair and a big group coming to the finish line together.
Well, it looks like they're setting it up for the bunch kick. That is Stacy Marple of the Tibco team. She'll be riding in support of last year's winner, Brooke Miller. You can see Ahrens has got Rebecca Larson right up near the front as well. And there's Rubleski. 2 crashes in the last 5 laps yesterday, but the Canadian fast woman looking well positioned here as they make their way into Cannon Falls.
Rubleski's very tough after yesterday's stage, still in the front. There's your race leader in the yellow jersey, and there is the other field riders trying to get to the line. Brooke Miller is tucked in just behind her teammates. Great lead out now coming from Tibco for Brooke Miller.
And it looks like Laura Van Gilder is going to hit out right up the middle of the road here. And we're going to see riders switching all over the place, trying to find the right wheel, to be honest. They make their way into the final 100 meters here. But the rider in red on the front, that is Van Gilder. A challenge coming from Rubleski. She is all the way up over on the left-hand side of the road, and then it looks like a charge is coming now in the light blue jersey. That is Brooke Miller as she comes across the line, repeating her win from last year.
Great ride by Miller there with the pigtails flying. Great sprint there. She's one of the fastest women in North American racing. Great field sprint, and she took care of this stage. Cannon Falls, great ride.
So Brooke Miller starting the morning with a little bit of a stomach virus, but she holds on for the win. Erica Allar, collegiate national criterium champion, in second, and Catherine Cheatley in third.
I was definitely not feeling good out there today, and my team was doing such a great job of helping me move up and get me into the finishing circuit.
And here's your overall standings. Cheatley extending her lead a little bit over Shelley Olds. Now it's at 11 seconds.
So we also see Teresa Moriarty holding on a position in the top 3. And there's Erica Allar wearing her Penn State jersey. That's who she races for collegiately at the national championships earlier this year in Kansas. The Ryans Collegiate All-Star team came together as they selected the top 4 from Division I and Division II, and these 8 women get a chance at the big leagues here at Nature Valley.
The 2007 Nature Valley Grand Prix is brought to you by Nature Valley, the energy bar nature intended. By Great River Energy, providing electricity to 28 cooperatives in Minnesota. By Wheaties, fueling champions. And by Materials Processing Corporation, e-cycling for the future.
Well, that clock is going to be very important here today as we are right on the banks of the Mississippi River getting ready for stage 3, the all-important time trial, as we take a look at Alex Rubleski here, the young Canadian slammed in that aero position.
Right down in the aero tuck there. Had a couple of hard crashes in the criterium. You can see the cuts left on her legs from that, but very tough riding from the Canadian. Out on the time trial course, 4.5 miles, the race of truth, and the GC battle should be a lot clearer after this. And here is the current reigning world time trial champion. This is Kristen Armstrong's specialty, and she is out in that perfect position, just slicing through the wind.
Only the 3rd time this year that she's had a chance to put on that rainbow skin suit there is the Lipton rider, looking very, very comfortable here, doing what she does best. There's our current race leader, Catherine Cheatley of the Cheerwine team. She's going to need to put together the ride of a lifetime today to hold off Armstrong.
Armstrong, the very best in the business currently in the time trial. This is not Cheatley's ideal event. She's a bit more of a sprinter and a lot better in the faster circuit races that the rest of the Nature Valley Grand Prix will feature. But for today, it's the time trial, and Kristen Armstrong out on course and setting an absolutely incredible rhythm.
Certainly a power rider's course here today, Bob. It's 5 miles out and back, nearly dead flat. Not a course that suits Armstrong all that well. Some of our riders with track experience, like Catherine Cheatley there, might have a little bit of an edge in that department, but Armstrong really has been almost unbeatable over the last 2 seasons racing on her time trial bike in North America.
Cheatley and Armstrong pretty close together at the start of the stage, just 21 seconds separating them. Cheatley needs to do a great ride to keep that gap within 21 seconds against the very best at this discipline, Kristen Armstrong.
And Armstrong looks like she's about to catch her minute woman here as Wroblewski up out of the saddle, going to the whip here to hold off the charging Kristen Armstrong. We'd expect to have a new best time here as Armstrong into the final 50 meters, and she will take a look up at that clock and see that, yeah, she's done it, a sensational 10:24.
Absolutely flying. Catherine Cheatley still out on course. She's approaching the finish line. She is losing time throughout the day to Kristen Armstrong. Armstrong doing a scintillating time. Armstrong poetry in motion. You can see the struggle on the legs of Cheatley now, trying to cut to the finish line within 21 seconds of Armstrong.
And it looks like Cheatley will be turning over that jersey to Kristen Armstrong.
Well, it's funny that it may be predictable to the outsiders, but to me, I get just as nervous for a time trial like today, or even if I'm time trialing at home for practice. I don't know what it is about getting on my time trial bike. When you're on it, you go fast and you get focused, and the nerves come, so it must mean that I really still carry it very close to my heart.
So Kristen Armstrong with her first stage win here at the Nature Valley Grand Prix up on the top step of the podium. Katie McTeer good for second, and our bronze standard, Catherine Curie of the Webcor Builders team, as they all crowd up onto the top block there. Great effort by our women's podium here today.
Dominating performance by Kristen Armstrong moves her into the lead of the race. Cheatley falls to second, 27 seconds behind, and Katie McTeer in third place on GC, 42 seconds behind. A dominant woman rider right there in the leader's jersey now, trading that World Championship time trial jersey for the lead, Kristen Armstrong.
And back downtown, as here we are in Minneapolis, what has become a classic criterium on the NRC, the National Racing Calendar Circuit. And our women's field hits out for 1 hour of racing here on lap number 1. And it looks like on the front, it is Team Lipton. That's Lauren Franges there helping protect the new leader, Kristen Armstrong.
40-mile race for the women's field here in the downtown criterium. Here's the pits. Hopefully that if anybody has a crash like we saw Wroblewski have earlier, it'll be before 5 laps to go and they can get a free lap, get right back in the front. But what a great ride it was on stage number 1. Here's the women's field coming through, and here's an example of that right now.
Yeah, it looks like taking a free lap here as the mechanic jumping in. She's got 1 full lap here to recover, and it looks like they're going to replace that wheel. Riders involved with a accident or a mechanical mishap are given this opportunity, Bob, up until 5 laps of racing remaining. There's the bell. We're at 1 to go.
Big lead out now, 1 lap to go, final lap in the criterium. Cheerwine on the front. Cheatley would love to get another stage, but who knows who's going to win this. Kristen Armstrong's been riding so strong, and now here's the big lead out in the front of the road there by the Cheerwine squad.
Well, similar to what we saw in Cannon Falls, right up the middle, and it's Laura Van Gilder posting the win in Minneapolis. It looks like Nikki Wangsgaard will be up on the podium as well, and an ecstatic Shelley Olds of the Pro-Man team, but Laura Van Gilder is our winner. Wangsgaard second, and Brooke Miller, another podium performance from Miller. She's through in third.
Every win is really big and special to me, and racing my bike just doesn't get old to me, and I'm happy to represent the Cheerwine here, especially we worked hard all week so far.
There's your GC battle. Kristen Armstrong still leading, the status quo maintained. Cheatley still in second, and Shelley Olds rounding out the top 3. And there is your podium. Top 3, Laura Van Gilder. Great sprint to the line for the win.
Welcome back to the Nature Valley Grand Prix. This is stage 5. We're here in beautiful Mankato. I'm Dave Towle, being joined by Bob Roll. Looks like all kinds of fun being had, Bob.
Interesting sidebar here. The fan zones brought to us by Wheaties. You can actually race the fastest sprinters on each course there at the fan zone. A little virtual reality for the fans here at the Nature Valley Grand Prix.
That's certainly daunting with this group here as they head out. It's going to be a very challenging day of racing. We understand winds out on course starting to pick up a little bit, but right now it looks like Lipton controlling things for the race leader. Actually, the race leader controlling things all by herself, Bob.
Kristen Armstrong has proved to be the strongest rider so far. She has the leader's jersey after a great time trial performance and also a big breakaway on stage number 1. She's going for the Queen of the Mountain points here. Got a little bit of a gap going on the field. Now this field is going to have to get organized and chase pretty hard because Armstrong is absolutely on fire, in great form so far in the Nature Valley Grand Prix.
Yeah, Armstrong dropping bombs that time up the climb. You could see the damage that she's done. It looked like Alex Wróblewski, the young Canadian, was one of the only riders that was able to stay in contact here. So Armstrong continues to flog herself here in Mankato.
The Wheaties move of the day coming from our race leader, Kristen Armstrong. Great riding. If she takes a look over her shoulder, she can see a huge gap. Here's the chase group: Mara Abbott, Wróblewski, and Gomez. So they got their work cut out for them. Armstrong absolutely flying.
Yeah, 3 riders here that are a little bit more traditional climber types. Armstrong, the true triple threat. She can do it all on the bike, and right now she's riding away with the race. They don't look like they're all that intent. It really looks like they've almost started to race for second place.
Wróblewski's 6th place to start the stage. She will move up if the status quo is maintained. And Mara Abbott there in the orange jersey, she's coming through, taking a pull at the front, and she is 20th overall. She's going to look to move up a little bit herself, but all 3 women chasing our race leader and leader out on the road. This woman right here, Kristen Armstrong, absolutely flying now into the finishing streets.
Yeah, the tempo has been insane from Armstrong here today. You'd expect Mara Abbott to be one of the riders that could match her pedal stroke for pedal stroke on the tough climb that they hit each time they are on the circuits here in Mankato. But this is it. Armstrong, the class of the field, and she's going to post another stage win at the Nature Valley Grand Prix.
This is what they call panache when you win a stage in the race leader's jersey. Great ride by Armstrong, and here are the chasers sprinting it in for second place.
And it looks like Webcor there has a couple riders in this group. We've also got Felicia Gomez, and Gomez is trying to jump onto that wheel, but it looks like Rachel Heel, the strong rider out of the UK for the Webcor Builders team, will she hold on at the line? It's going to be close. They'll go to the photo finish.
Photo finish there. Here is your board. Kristen Armstrong winning the stage. Rachel Heel getting up there for second, but look at that gap, 39 seconds. Great riding by Armstrong. Gomez, Wróblewski, and Saunders rounding out the top 5.
So as we take a look at our podium, there is Kristen Armstrong of the Lipton team inviting the other ladies to join her on the top step. In the green, that is Rachel Heel and Felicia Gomez of the Aaron's team. So Kristen Armstrong, our overall race leader, as she retains the yellow Nature Valley Grand Prix leader's jersey. Rachel Heel moving up into second, now 142 back, and Wróblewski rounding out our top 3. And there's Kristen Armstrong in her freewheel bike Nature Valley Grand Prix leader's jersey.
Great riding by Armstrong. She can be untouched so far in the Nature Valley Grand Prix.
Well, today I have to give everything to my team. They really kept me protected out there on the road today, and I utilized minimal energy. And I knew that my race today was coming into the circuits, and I had about 40 minutes of just hard racing. And they did a great job out there on the road. They kept things at bay and brought me into the circuit, like I said, really fresh and ready to go.
Well, the classy Kristen Armstrong has been absolutely dominant here in Minnesota, and we've got one final stage coming up in Stillwater, our women's field taking the start, Bob.
Stillwater Criterium featuring one of the toughest stages in all of North America, coming as it does after 5 days of hard racing, stage number 6. And this is the hill that the riders will have to climb. And look at Kristen Armstrong. You saw her flash by in the front, dominating from the front. What a great way to defend the yellow jersey of race leader.
Armstrong is going to waste no time at all. There's another rider we expected to see shining here today as Mara Abbott in her Women's Prestige Series orange leader's jersey, but drilling it this time up the climb. Kristen Armstrong looks like she's got the entire field behind the 8 ball right now.
Mara Abbott, one of the best climbers in the business in women's racing right now. Here's the chasers. Katie McTeer leading that chase group, but up the road is Armstrong absolutely flying and so far dominating as she has done. There's the top of that climb, a very tough stage. Here's Mara Abbott trying to bridge across to Armstrong.
So Mara Abbott right now, if she can get up to Armstrong, and it looks like she's doing exactly that, will benefit greatly if they can become simpatico, Bob, starting to work together, because Abbott can ride her way onto the overall podium with a stellar performance here today. Armstrong not looking like she's all that motivated to bring Abbott with her.
Well, that is an absolutely great bridge across to our race leader by Abbott. There's Wróblewski, queen of the mountain so far, and she has proven to be one of the toughest riders in this field. But Mara Abbott making a very solid acceleration across to the leader, Kristen Armstrong.
I don't see any other rider, Bob, being able to make that bridge move here, going from station to station like Mara Abbott just did. Right here, as they come through what is the start area, the finish is up on top of the Chillicoot climb, and Armstrong still on the front. She's been the big motor here, tagged onto the back, Mara Abbott, but Abbott looking like she's ready to hit out as she kind of springs a surprise attack here.
Abbott attacking there at the bottom of the last climb, but Kristen Armstrong, every measure of that attack and some more, slipping her gears a little bit. This is your Wheaties move of the day. Armstrong distancing herself from Mara Abbott, chasing desperately. She made the first attack, but it wasn't enough to contain the acceleration by this woman, absolutely dominating the Nature Valley Grand Prix with another stage win, Kristen Armstrong.
Sensational performance for Armstrong throughout the week. You can say the same about our second place finisher, Mara Abbott of the Webcor Builders team, as she comes across the line, as Mara will retain her Webcor Series Leaders jersey. But Kristen Armstrong is our final stage winner and overall winner. Mara Abbott in second, and Laura Van Gilder rounding out the top three.
I'm a stage racer, and so the more the days, the better I feel. And so, like I said, this is a great race. We started off with some flat stages, gets your legs going, doesn't burn the legs too much, and then finishing off with these tough stages. It's very strategic, and it's a great venue and great volunteers and great organization, so thank you.
So Kristen Armstrong is our outright winner. Mara Abbott moving up into second, and Alex Wróblewski rounding out our top three here at the Nature Valley Grand Prix. For our sport being Queen of the Hills, it's Canadian Alex Wróblewski of the Colavita Sutter Home Cooking Light team taking the win. Our overall winner, Kristen Armstrong, in second. And our Wheaties sprint competition had Rebecca Larson taking that category, Brooke Miller in second, and Laura Van Gilder rounding out our top three. There's Kristen Armstrong on the top of the podium. What a tough week of racing, and what a true champion she is, Bob.
That's second place Mara Abbott, and third place Laura Van Gilder for the stage. Great riding by Kristen Armstrong.
So the crowds were huge as the Wheaties sprint leader, Rebecca Larson of the Aaron's Corporate Furnishing team, looking resplendent in orange as she receives her jersey in front of the admiring crowd. And the tough luck kid, Alex Wróblewski, battling through some early race clashes, and the Queen of the Hills from Sports Beams is Wróblewski. Best young rider going to Mara Abbott out of Boulder, Colorado for the Webcor Builders team. So what a sensational week of racing it's been. And there is your outright winner, Kristen Armstrong of Lipton. Coming up next, our men's race.
There is a place where time has stood still, where nature remains pristine, and change comes slowly, if it comes at all. Monica Lawrence's Nature Valley, Convict Lake, Eastern Sierra, California. 100% natural, whole grains. Delicious. Where's your Nature Valley?
Welcome back to St. Paul, Minnesota, as we get ready to take the start for Stage 1, our men's field. Starting to feel the trepidation here. I'm Dave Towle, being joined by Bob Roll, and there's Nathan O'Neill, Bob.
Big Nathan O'Neill, he loves this race, would love to take out the overall. He is a great time trialist, maybe the best in North America currently. One
of the top riders in America leading the NRC standings. There's Ben Jacques Maines of the Priority Health team, and Ivan Stevic of the Toyota United squad as he rolls up to the line in his Serbian national champions jersey.
Toyota United rider, one of the few domestic riders to win a stage of the Tour of Georgia, and that was a great result for his team, Toyota United. And Toyota United seemed to be very consistent when it comes to winning stages in the biggest two stage races in the United States, and of course the Nature Valley Grand Prix.
And it looks like our sprinters teams are starting to get organized here, trying to bring their fast men up to the front and get them in position to have a shot at the line. Toyota United looking very well organized.
Toyota United, there's three riders on the front, but the man in white, watch him. He's fourth wheel. That's Ivan Stevic having a great lead out. That's Henk Vogel's just in front of him.
They are setting this up perfectly for Stevic right now. That is Jonathan Page of the Nature Valley team sitting right on Stevic's wheel. But as Sean Sullivan takes a monster pull on the front, they're trying to launch that man to the line, and it looks like Stevic gets it done, posting a big, big win for the Serbian on Toyota United.
Kirk O.B. trying to get around Stevic, unable to do that. Kirk O.B. from the Health Net squad, and there's your stage standings.
Ivan Stevic is our winner. Kirk O.B. in the silver standard, and Jonathan Page rounding out our top three.
I just crashed in half of the race and was like, come on. He follows me from Philly Week. And I said to myself, I have another half an hour and adrenaline should help me, which was the case.
Here's your overall standing. Stevich on the top of the leaders board because of the stage win. Kirk O.B. second, Jonathan Page third.
So very happy Ivan Stevich on this top step of the podium here. It was a hard-fought battle in St. Paul, and you can see some of the fastest men in America made their way onto the podium. So we get ready for the start here, stage 2 in Cannon Falls. A huge field assembled. But Bob, as you were mentioning earlier during our women's race, conditions not as challenging as we've seen in the past.
Calm winds for the Cannon Falls road race. There's your race leader, Ivan Stevich from Toyota United. HealthNet has brought a very powerful squad. He's going to have his work cut out for him defending that leader's jersey. And here's our first big breakaway of the stage. Phil Zaitchik on the Navigator squad, and two of the Colombian national team riders, Perez and Serpa, in the breakaway.
Yeah, Perez and Serpa, both track riders on the Colombian national team. They're not going to know much about Phil Zaitchik, the Navigators rider that they've got with him. But Zaitchik really coming into some good form here in the early summer. And there looks like the chase being led up right now by Ben-Jacques Maines. There's Frank Pipp and Tim Johnson, both of the HealthNet team. And also looks like Jittery Joe's has got some riders up near the front.
A race within a race, a big lead out being done before the dirt section. You know, flat tires could be imminent. If you hit a little stone and it gets caught up in your tire, you could flat easily, so you want to be right at the front. Here's our leaders, still Zaitchik, Perez, and Serpa, trying to get away and stay away to the finish line. Then the field is charging just behind, but the dirt section, here is our field. Not too much damage being done by that. A little bit reduced in the Cannon Falls stage this year, but still 65+ miles of racing.
It doesn't look like any one team is taking up the responsibility of the chase. It looks like just about everybody is involved right now. Toyota United has a couple riders that are putting in. It looks like HealthNet has also got a couple riders, and because of that cooperation, it looks like they're going to shut this move down as they are on the finishing circuits here in Cannon Falls.
Hank Vogel's big teamwork being done for Stevich, the race leader. HealthNet putting all of their riders on the front to lead out the sprint before the line.
All that hard work chasing back that breakaway comes to fruition here as a hard charge. It looks like it is Kirk O.B. So the American on the HealthNet team posting the win. Martin Gilbert of the Kelly Benefit Strategies team there in second. There is our top three today, O.B., Gilbert, and Dan Schmatz.
Big chase of a dangerous breakaway containing Zaitchik by the HealthNet squad for Kirk O.B.
A couple of Toyota guys left and HealthNet guys doing last-second lead-outs there, and it's a long stretch coming into the last turn to the finish, and I kind of took advantage of the momentum because there's a bit of a lull at the bottom of the hill there, and it worked out.
So some reshuffling on our leaderboard as Kirk O.B. will be in the race leader's jersey at start of stage 3 tomorrow. Ivan Stevich in second, Martin Gilbert in third. Let's hear from Ivan Stevich.
We were short for the lead out at the end because we worked a lot today, so for the end I had only Caleb and Hank and Sally. It was like yesterday, but still it was a long way to go.
Well, a somewhat disappointed Ivan Stevich giving up the leader's jersey today. We'll see if he can earn it back tomorrow. Welcome back to the Nature Valley Grand Prix. This is stage 3, the St. Paul Riverfront time trial. It's a 5-mile out and back course, and we're picking things up with Nathan O'Neill, the multi-time Australian national champion. Bob.
This is the race of truth, individual against the clock, the most democratic of all bike races, the individual time trial. Stevich trying to get the race leader's jersey back off of Kirk O.B.
Trying to repay his teammates. They've done an awful lot of work on that Toyota United team for Ivan Stevich. As you see, his teammate Caleb Mannion there has just been passed out on courses. Ben-Jacques Maines is pinning it here. The Priority Health rider has had an incredible 2007. He's right back at it. He will be challenging O'Neill as he honing in on the finish line right now, Bob, but another incredible ride from Jacques Maines.
This will be a great move in the GC for Ben-Jacques Maines. If he can get to the finish line, you can see the out and back nature of the course. There's Kirk O.B. He's the current race leader. Ben-Jacques Maines having a very good ride so far in the time trial. Kirk O.B. trying to defend the race leader's jersey against Ivan Stevich.
And both of them really known as sprinters. O.B., one of the fastest men in America. As you can see, he's certainly been working on his time trial position as O.B. and Stevich battling for the stage win. This man does not like to lose time trials. And Nathan O'Neill turning himself inside out right now as the Aussie strongman is crushing it.
This is not a long time trial at 5 miles for Nathan O'Neill. He likes a little bit of a longer course, but he is the very best in the business when he has good form. And here is Stevic coming now to the turnaround portion of the course. He's going to make a big U-turn here through the parking lot, and let's see what his technique is like. Not too bad on that time trial machine. Remember, these are very tricky bikes to maneuver.
Yeah, I don't think you could handle that much better than Stevic just did. So he's halfway through here on his way back home. Nathan O'Neill, from the reports we've had out on course, has the fastest time checks that we have seen today as he drops back into that aero position now. And O'Neill has left it all out on course. A sensational ride for Nathan.
Absolutely flying ride by Nathan O'Neill. His teammate Kirk O'B still out on course. Stevic having a good ride so far, and Kirk O'B needs to hustle to the finish line to defend that jersey. He has a 10-second cushion on the rider from Serbia, and that is Ivan Stevic. Ivan Stevic, there he is. He's in his time trial position, coming down the finishing straightaway, trying to get that jersey back from Kirk O'B.
Battle of these two strong sprinters, Bob, and we're going to find out which one is the best time trialist here today. Stevic looking very comfortable here as a maximum effort being made. It looks like he's trying to ride his way back up onto the top step of the podium in the overall.
Stage winner from the Tour of Georgia, Stevic, and here comes our Ben Jacquemain, just barely missing the time of Nathan O'Neill. Second fastest time, 3 seconds slower than the leader. And here comes Stevic to the line, stage winner in Tour of Georgia already this year. He's never won a stage race in North America, trying to get that done now.
And Nature Valley is a very different kind of stage race. Things start out flat, time trial right in the middle here. And we're going to see, does OB have enough left in the tank to hold on to his freewheel bikes? Nature Valley Grand Prix leaders jersey. He is now inside 50 meters to the line. It looks like he's not quite going to get it done, as across the line, OB will be giving up that jersey. Nathan O'Neill is our stage winner. Ben Jacquemain should be very proud of that ride within 3 seconds of O'Neill. And Stevic, look at that, Bob, in third.
And when you're motivated, it's different, you know. I had like all these things in my head this morning. It's like, it's not long and I cannot lose that much time. And I know that OB is not a great time trialist, but when I'm motivated, I can do good.
Motivation getting it done for Ivan Stevic. He regains the race lead, 6 seconds over Nathan O'Neill after O'Neill's fantastic time trial. Kirk O'B falls to third.
So we take a look in his Australian national champion skin suit. Nathan O'Neill on the top step of the podium. Ben Jacquemain's in second, and Stevic in third today. Young and old, we're all delighted by the action out on course. Ivan Stevic looking good in yellow again. Toyota United Strongman is our new race leader as we'll make our way to downtown Minneapolis.
It's been a real seesaw battle for the leader's jersey so far. You know, the Nature Valley Grand Prix benefits the children's hospitals and clinics of Minnesota, a very worthy cause.
Well, it's been great having the Children's Hospital and clinics involved with the 2007 edition of the Nature Valley Grand Prix. And let's turn our attention back to the racing, Bob.
Lots of time bonuses out on course, up for grabs. And for the yellow jersey, those are going to be very important. And here's Ivan Stevic trying to get some of those time bonuses out on the race course, being led out by his teammates very handily. And that's going to go a long way to giving him a little bit of an advantage there as we get into the last hilly stages of the Nature Valley Grand Prix.
Yes, Stevic has been intent on picking up as much bonification as he can throughout the race, and we're down to the bell lap. There's also time bonuses awarded at the finale, Bob, as they head out with one circuit remaining here. Toyota United have been controlling things, but it looks like it's bedlam right now.
That's Hank Vogel's leading out for Stevic, but it's Kirk O'B in the red Sprinters jersey coming through on the inside for a great stage win, his second of the Nature Valley Grand Prix.
Boy, this one's been going back and forth, but now Kirk O'B is our stage winner here in Minneapolis. Ivan Stevic in second. Hank Vogel, Stevic's teammate, rounding out the top three. But Kirk O'B of HealthNet Maxis up on the top step of the podium. Another strong Criterium win.
Back on the top step of the podium for another stage win, but the GC is a little bit different now. Ivan Stevic extending his lead. Now it's 19 seconds from Kirk O'B. Nathan O'Neill now 31 seconds down. That is a solid cushion.
That really is the difference in the bonuses out there on offer today. We'll be back with more racing in just a moment. And we are back. Welcome to Mankato. This is Stage 5 of the Nature Valley Grand Prix. I'm Dave Towle, joined by the living legend Bob Rule.
87 miles of hard riding. It's a pretty tough circuit in the finale. Good look at our race leader. That is the GC leader after stage number 4. What a battle he's had with Kirk O'B and the HealthNet men. The HealthNet have been winning the battle so far, but the war so far going to Stevic.
Well, we are back on the finishing circuits here in Mankato. You can see that Health Net Maxis is on the front of the bike race, and Nathan O'Neill launching a major attack here as they are down to about 15 miles of racing remaining, and O'Neill's going to the whip.
Nathan O'Neill, this is your Wheaties move of the day. He's on the attack. He's trying to get the stage win for his teammates. A big, tough chase. Stevich is tucked in there trying to defend that jersey. And O'Neill looking over his shoulders to see who's going to come across. And it looks like it's Cesar Grajales from Jittery Joe's, the Colombian climbing specialist, stage winner in the Tour of Georgia a couple of years ago.
Grajales, a Colombian national who calls Athens, Georgia home now. O'Neill, also a resident of Georgia. So these two coming together, they know each other well. They've trained together extensively throughout the off-season. As far as pure climbers go, I don't know if it gets better than Cesar Grajales in North America right now.
Taking the scalp of none other than Lance Armstrong on the Brasstown Bald stage of the Tour of Georgia. Cesar Grajales, one of the best climbers, and Nathan O'Neill, one of the best time trialists. And here comes a couple of other riders, Colby and Lil, getting across to our two leaders.
Well, speaking of Brasstown Bald, Colby was third there this year, and South African Darren Lill just getting on to the back of that group. Caleb Mannion and Phil Zychek right now flanking our current race leader, Ivan Stevich. Stevich is going to have his work cut out for him, as we mentioned, on these circuits, as it looks like it is pandemonium right now. Another strong move going. This time, it's another Australian on Health Net, Rory Sutherland.
Rory Sutherland going up the road. Stevich is going to have to really keep an eye out on Nathan O'Neill, just 31 seconds behind on GC to start the day. And Rory Sutherland trying to get across. There's Nathan O'Neill leading up that hill, and Cesar Grajales matching those accelerations. Stevich is going to have to start getting very serious about the chase now with his teammates. That is a dangerous breakaway. Sutherland trying to get across. He's just dangling off the front of the field, trying to get across to our four leaders.
And it looks like the field is just about ready to blow two bits here, as each time up, this 22% grade in Mankato is really starting to wear on the group on the backside of the circuits. Now, these are our leaders. Rory Sutherland sitting there in rider number one, a look over his shoulder to see if they're going to be joined.
Rory Sutherland, he is going to join our four leaders. He'll have a teammate in that, Cesar Grajales. We're going to take a close look at Sutherland coming across. A very fast sprinter, Rory Sutherland is, and a pretty handy climber as well.
And it looked like Nathan O'Neill was on the front setting the tempo for his teammate Rory Sutherland. So Health Net with two riders up in that move, and they're going to try to play it out tactically here. Sutherland is your odds-on favorite. He's got a very, very strong kick as they make their way through downtown Mankato. Darren Lill, a little bit of aggression coming from Lill, as it looks like he does have his teammate Zychek with him.
And there is Anthony Colby trying to get the stage win, as well as Nathan O'Neill. Rory Sutherland moving in the inside there. Cesar Grajales on the outside, and here's a sprint to the finish line. Colavita Sutter leading out, but it's Rory Sutherland coming around for a great stage win. Good ride by the Health Net rider, Rory Sutherland. What a sprint finish.
And you can see an ecstatic Nathan O'Neill finishing right in that group. Well, Rory Sutherland is our stage winner. Anthony Colby holds on for a strong second place, and the Colombian Cesar Grajales rounding out our top three. So up on the top step of the podium, that's where everyone wants to be, Bob, and it's all Rory Sutherland here in Mankato.
Overall standings after stage 5, Ivan Stevich clinging to a 23-second lead over Nathan O'Neill. Rory Sutherland moving into third place, 27 seconds behind Ivan Stevich. In the freewheel bike Nature Valley Grand Prix race leaders jersey, we got a chance to talk to the stage winner, Rory Sutherland.
The interesting thing about racing in America is that all the guys on Toyota and a lot of the other guys are actually friends of ours as well, but when you're racing, it is racing, that's the whole thing. And it's not a personal thing.
I didn't even have legs to follow, I just was empty. And last lap, I just gave everything I had from the bottom of the climb to the finish.
Well, we say goodbye to Mankato after some sensational racing here today, and look forward to the next stage coming up in Stillwater.
The Nature Valley Grand Prix has been brought to you by Nature Valley, the energy bar nature intended. By Great River Energy, providing electricity to 28 cooperatives in Minnesota. By Wheaties, fueling champions. And by Verge Sport, jersey sponsor of the Nature Valley Grand Prix. Welcome back to the sixth and final stage of the 2007 Nature Valley Grand Prix. Taking a look at the start line here, Bob, I think a lot of these riders will be happy to be done
with the race after today's tough criterium.
Chilkoot Hill provides the backdrop for one of the most fearsome stages in all of North American racing. Many times up that hill, Cesar Grajales will love that. Ivan Stevic really having his work cut out for him to defend that race leader's jersey. HealthNet has thrown everything they have at him so far, and there's Rory Sutherland, the winner of the stage number 5. What a great ride that was to bridge up and then win the sprint.
Some interesting developments at the start line this morning as Nathan O'Neill has pulled himself from the race with a stomach problem. So the man who we were just talking about, Roy Sutherland, is now second in GC and will be HealthNet's best chance. The circuit yesterday in Mankato had a very similar, not quite as tough of a climb as what we're seeing here, but Bob, they're going to hit it many more times, as this is a criterium, the American style of racing.
1 hour of racing, the men facing the final stage, probably the hardest stage of the bike race, and after so many days out on the open road, that makes for a very tough day of racing. There is Bajadali breaking away. He's another good climber in our field, and let's see what the other men in this field can do, chasing down Bajadali. The thing about this race course is whatever you do, whatever acceleration you make, there's not a lot of aerodynamics being played out, so the whole field has to react to that sort of on an individual basis. It's almost like a time trial at this stage.
Yeah, only the strong survive, that is for sure. Darren Lill, who just got done winning a race out in California, the Nevada City Classic, very similar, as a very tough climb and a rapid descent back down to the start area. So Lill looking good here today. He's just about to pick up Andy Bajadali, so the Baj has some company.
Bajadali, the first man to attack, Lill bridging up, but we saw Stevic at the top of that hill tucked in right in front of the group, and that might be what he needs to do if his teammates aren't able to try to control these accelerations from the HealthNet squad.
And we're seeing the Colombian team starting to move up to the front as well. That was Serpa on the front, a very select group coming together, and you can see in the yellow jersey and the white shorts, that is our race leader, Ivan Stevic. Looking around, it's very elite company is there. In the orange Wheaties sprint leaders jersey is Kirk O'B, and it looks like this is the descent down to the finish area, this very technical right-hand turn, and Bob Ryder's trying to carry as much momentum as they possibly can, because you can see how quickly they're climbing again.
This is where the riders start, but where they finish is straight up that hill just in front of them. Here's our leaders. This is going to be a big sprint to the line. That's Cesar Grajales, and there it goes. Lill, he's on the back wheel there. He's trying to close the gap now. This is a great little sprint to the line.
Having an incredible year is Frank Pipp of the HealthNet Maxxis team. You can see Roy Sutherland right behind him trying to improve his GC position. I don't think he's going to get that done, but Frank Pipp will post the win. Great ride for Pipp and HealthNet Maxxis, and how about that man, Ivan Stevic, will hold on.
Very classy ride by Stevic in the race leader's jersey. He found the right move of the day. He had to work very hard for that, vanishing all of his teammates after having done so much work throughout the week, but that's a great ride by Frank Pipp for the stage win.
Darren Lill in second, Roy Sutherland third, Phil Zychek fourth, and rounding out our top 5 is Kirk O'B. The flowers go to the victor, and that is on the top step of the podium, Frank Pipp.
HealthNet winning 5 out of 6 stages, but not doing quite enough to dislodge that man on the top of the final overall standings, Ivan Stevic, with a 27-second win over Rory Sutherland.
Kirk O'B, Phil Zychek, and Ben Jacquemains rounding out our top 5. Our Sport Beans, King of the Hills, saw young Michael Cody with the biggest jersey in his career, taking that category. And then our Wheaties Sprint competition, it was Ivan Stevic, our overall winner, taking the win. Alzate in second, and on the basis of points in third place, Kirk O'B. There's Michael Cody in our Sport Beans King of the Hills jersey.
Great crowds throughout the Nature Valley Grand Prix. That's become a real steady part of this entire summer for the people of Minnesota. That is the Wheaties Sprint jersey being won by the race winner, also Ivan Stevic. What a great week he's had of racing, and there is your overall winner, Ivan Stevic from Serbia and Toyota United.
I just realized that this is the kind of the course in the race, you know, so nervous course, so hard, like short, which fits me perfectly, and it's not longer than 6 days, which I'm good.
Well, we hope you enjoyed the Nature Valley Grand Prix. I'm Dave Towle for Bob Roll saying we'll see you at the races.